My name is Mira. I am on a journey to declutter my house, get rid of all of this stuff, and create spaces for my collections and really be able to enjoy them and my space at long last. This journey has been decades in the making. Here we are at Clutter Mountain, and oh boy, is it going to be a task. It covers around a third of the room and is pretty intimidating. But I have already tackled the tower, so I can manage the mountain. Thank you for joining me in my journey to peel away the clutter. This is a long episode today. Please let me know if long episodes like this are good or if you would prefer me to break it down into smaller segments. But in the meantime, go ahead, pause the video, get yourself a drink, a snack, a meal, whatever, because we're going to be here a while. Now, some of the comments on my past videos advised me to start with my boxes. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm kind of moving stuff around, trying to get to all of the boxes that I could reach. Now, I couldn't reach all of them, but I grabbed the boxes within reach and I tossed them to the other side of the room to be broken down later. Now, I want to say that I am so grateful for all of my subscribers and all of you who have been commenting such kind things on my videos. When I started this channel, I really thought if I was lucky, I might have 50 subscribers by the end of a month. I'm not even a month into this channel, and there are nearly 4,000 of you who are subscribing, and I just can't even say how much it means to me that you are so interested and that you care so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Before I started decluttering, I had basically arranged things so that my tower and my mountain were on the edges of the room so that I had the middle portion that was more open so that I could get around. Here I'm doing the opposite as I declutter. I'm trying to free up the edges, and so in the middle of the room I've basically set up some boxes. I've got some boxes for things that I want to declutter. I have also got some little baskets that I got at the dollar store for things that need to be moved into a different room. Here are some vinyl albums that I found that were from a previous decluttering. When I moved here 5 years ago, many boxes ended up going outside under my covered patio because there wasn't room for them anywhere else. I went through the boxes a few years ago and let a bunch of things go. Other things I kept and brought inside, but they didn't make it any further than inside the back door because I didn't have a place to put them. And thus they got caught up in Clutter Mountain. So those vinyl albums were the first of those patio boxes that I uncovered. I realized here that I just didn't need them anymore. I don't have a record player anyway. My attachment to them has decreased enough that I was comfortable letting them go. The box that held these albums became a box for a donation. I also found lots of things that I have purchased over the years in this mountain. This is some magnet strips that I bought for a project but never even opened, let alone used. These will go in the tool closet for now. But that's not the only purchase that's been buried here. I found a shower rod and I put that up in the bathroom at last so I can send the old one out to trash. Here are some craft supplies. There are always craft supplies. I think there were probably crafting things in every room except maybe the bathroom. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me to find something in there too. I also found paper, old bills, junk mail, so much junk mail. I'm putting all of the papers in a box to go through later. I think that is a project I can do while watching TV. Then there are the books. So many books. I majored in English literature and have many books from that time. I'm ready to let them go, but this has been a process that has taken a lot of time. For several years after I graduated, I really couldn't let them go. I had dreams of a life in academia, and so I hung on to them. I clung to them for quite a while. Then I started being more willing to let them go, but only a little bit. I have a little free library outside, and when I first set it up, I thought I really want to have a few classics in there too, so that people can come by and get a classic book. Turns out no one actually wants the classic book in the little free library. They get that stuff at the regular library if they want to read it. So then I had to let go of something else. I had to let go of a dream that I had, and that took me another year or so, but I'm ready to do that. And so I'm going to have several boxes of books that are ready to go. A lot of times, objects in my life aren't just objects. It would be a lot easier if they were that way for me, but they're also part of dreams or ideas that I had, things that I wanted to pursue that just never came to pass. That's part of why my journey to declutter really is a journey, and it does come in a process of steps and stages. At sometimes I'm able to let go of some things, and then as time passes, I'm able to let go of others. If you're undergoing a similar process, I encourage you to remember the same thing, that it's okay to go through your things and realize that there are things that you might not be ready to let go of right away. And that's okay. Just let go of what you can and keep on going. At this point, I had cleared a small area, so I decided to go ahead and sweep. There was a fair amount of trash on the floor, and it helped me to go through and clean it up. It's these little milestones, like sweeping away an area that hadn't been swept before in a while. Those are meaningful and important, so I go ahead and take a few minutes to do a little bit of sweeping. As I was sweeping, I discovered some oracle cards from a deck that I had set aside. Yikes! Those could have been in the garbage and out the door. I'm really glad I found them. But you know what? Mistakes like that are probably going to happen along the way. So it is good to be vigilant. I'm hoping I rescued all of the missing cards, but if I didn't, I am just going to have to let that be okay. In this case, the good news is if I'm not able to find all of those cards, that particular deck is still, so I should be able to get any missing cards. But the truth is, if that happened with an out of print deck, that I have, I would be devastated. I know I would. And goodness, look at all of this paper. I need to find different ways of dealing with junk mail. And maybe I can find some ways to keep the junk mail from coming. I don't know. It's something I need to look into. And now we've reached day 2. I'm just doing another quick show of what we've got here in front of us. There's a bit less, but still a fair amount of work that needs to be done. You can see there are my boxes that are over there in that corner. There is the center area. I did purchase a few bags from Target. The price was pretty reasonable, and I like how they collapse. I feel like they could be good bags to maybe keep in the trunk of my car after I'm done with the decluttering, but they'll definitely get a fair amount of use now. One thing that I've added is I saw a recommendation from one of y'all. I am so grateful to put some tape on the floor and on the wall marking the beginning of the pile so that you'll be able to see that and add a little bit of context once we get to the after photos. So I've gone ahead and added that tape. I'm going to go ahead and set up these new bins. I am going to use those to put the stuff that I need to take to other rooms. My dollar store baskets were very overrun with all of the stuff that I had, so that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and use these bins as well. A bunch of clothes ended up in the pile, in the mountain, and so I'm just going to go ahead and put them in my bins and keep on plugging away. The mountain stresses me out to look at it right now. So it just is amazing to me that I have lived for so long with that mountain looming over me, basically. It's really true that your stuff can become just so overwhelming. It's really had a negative effect on my life over the years. And so that's one reason why I ended up deciding that I had to do something about it. I really encourage you, if you're in a similar situation, to just pick away at it a little bit at a time. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I promise you. Just remember, it didn't get this way overnight, and it's not going to be fixed overnight either, but it's all just a process, and slow and steady is the way that I am able to do this. You can see that my helper hasn't really appeared much in this video. Both of my little dogs were basically watching me from the couch thinking, what in the world is happening? I think my little overseer was pretty much put off by the fact that now there was all this stuff in the middle of the room where he's not used to seeing that. So he just didn't want to get into that mess. But you'll see him a little bit later. Now with this layer of the mountain, I'm still dealing with a lot of papers. There are some random shoes. This poor fan, it had come up from its base, and so it probably tipped over, I don't know, 5 times throughout this whole process. And I'm going through some various things. I opened up this envelope because I thought maybe there was a gift card in there, but no such luck. There are more lens cleaners for my glasses. There are always more of those. And you're starting to see a sewing machine, which is right behind me here. I took that to get it serviced, brought it home, and stuck it down, and yeah, I got buried by the mountain. Now, you just saw me hold up a box, and this is the kind of box that I hate. It has all sorts of bits and bobs in there. They're a pain to declutter, and this kind of box is actually one reason why I have stayed cluttered or stayed disorganized, because I get to that box and my brain just scrambles. And it's not just this box, it's boxes like this that I just toss a bunch of stuff into. And I get to the box and I think, how am I going to get rid of the stuff in this box? Where is it going to go? The items all need homes, so if there are 117 things in a box and you decide that 111 are things that are usable, you need to find 111 homes, and that just makes my brain implode. I have dealt with this in the past by not dealing with it. That's what I've done. And it's kept me in this disorganized, crazy state of living. So I decide I'm going to go through this box, and if I end up keeping 111 items, then I will somehow figure out where they go. The truth is, these boxes never have that many items that I want to keep, but they are still difficult for someone like me who has a difficulty making decisions about what to keep and where to put those things that they do keep. There are also those items that you think, okay, I have a cord here. What does this cord go to? Or I have a duplicate piece that probably goes to something, but do I even still have the something that it goes to? And how do I figure out what exactly it goes to? So, those are the kinds of things that I really struggle with, and that's why I hate these kind of boxes so much. I was pretty proud of myself for just digging in and going through this box. And if there are those random cords, I just set them aside and I'll just gather everything together in one bin. And once I have gone through stuff, I can figure out what cord goes to what and discard all the rest. I came across an art poster book. I have not displayed these posters, used this book, but I do have a section on my bookshelf for art books. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside, put it there, but I will reevaluate somewhere down the road because I want to make sure that the books that I keep, I do end up using. I've had several of you point out in the comments that decluttering is a process that you come back to again and again. So that's something that I will remember and keep in mind as I go. Now, I am watching, well, listening, I guess, to the original Unsolved Mysteries. it's playing on the TV right behind me while I declutter. I would love to hear what you watch or listen to while you declutter. I don't know what it is about the original Unsolved Mysteries, but it's just something that I have always loved. And so it was such a great treat when I found my DVDs that I had burned of them. So I'm really excited to be able to listen to those again. They are available on YouTube for free with ads, but I don't always like to listen to the ads. Plus, they have cut some segments out. All right, let's move on to day 3. And I have a special guest. This is a good friend of mine. She actually offered to come over and help me, and I was delighted to take her up on the offer. As you can imagine, I'm not too keen on having people come over to my house and see things because, yeah, I still have a lot of shame around my house and how things are. Aw, look at me. I set that scale right to the declutter box. I have a better scale now when I need to mail packages, so I no longer need that one, and it was super easy to let go. But back to my friend. We have known each other for several years. We used to work together. And in fact, she's the one who introduced me to decluttering channels, and she did it several years ago. She introduced me to A Hoarder's Heart in particular, and I was fascinated by these videos. I was super intrigued, but also another part of me was like, who are these people and how do they know how to do this cleaning stuff? And how do they declutter stuff? And how do they let go of things so easily? It just was shocking to me. And I wasn't ready to do decluttering on this scale at that point in my life, but those videos did plant a seed. And although I didn't watch them regularly, like I would keep coming back to them, and they just kept kind of inspiring something inside of me. So I'm very grateful to her for that. She also, when I moved 5 years ago, moved into this house, she agreed to come over, and she came over several times. I'm not even sure how many times. She came over several times, helped me to pack up stuff, and she was just really good at asking practical questions. Like if I had multiple items that seemed similar, she would say, "Do you need both of these?" She was very just non-judgmental, which was a huge help to me because feeling judged by someone actually sets you back. I guess I should say it sets me back. When someone treats me in a negative way or is condescending to me, judgmental about all of my stuff, I actually just retreat more and feel less able to let things go. I sometimes wonder if people who say judgmental things believe that they are helping in some way, but what I want them to understand is that for me at least, and I feel that this may be true for others, that it's really not helpful. It just makes someone feel stuck and trapped and like they aren't good enough. For me, it's never been an issue of good enough. It's that my brain works differently. I struggle to know which objects to keep and which objects to let go of. I have developed attachments and emotional attachments to my items, so I can't just let them go and say, "Oh, do I have a need for this?" Some people can say, "I no longer need this item. I can let this go." Or, "I haven't used this in 6 months. I can let this go." But I have problems doing that. I think about, oh, this person gave this item to me. Can I really let this go? Even if I haven't used it, even if I don't have a need for it, I have that attachment to that item that makes it really hard. And my brain is wired differently. I mean, we're all different people. We have strengths in some areas, we have weaknesses in other areas. And I am not good at organization. I freely admit that. But I am hella creative. And the good news is, I can get better at being more organized. I can get better at letting things go. And whoa, I have gone on for a while here. But the point is that my friend was really judgmental and she very much helped me in my process. And when I would let things go, she would actually carry the boxes of stuff that I was letting go out to the car. In fact, she would carry it out to her car and she would drop things off at the donation center. I think maybe she was trying to make sure that things actually got out the door. She didn't say that, but maybe that was true. I don't know. But either way, it was super helpful to me. And so when she volunteered to come over, I did not hesitate because I knew that she would not come and try to rip things out of my hands that I would cling to, saying, I will want to keep these. I knew that she would just let me decide what would stay and what would go, and that she would not judge me. And we had a lot of fun. It was fun to get together, sort through items, and just talk. It was great fun. So we came across these boxes that I had kept out on my patio. And in fact, she was one of the ones who helped me go through those a few years ago. I had a few friends who helped with that. And I basically brought in the boxes and was like, I don't know where to put them. So they got put on the couch and boom, the mountain began. Or I guess I should say it continued, like it had already started, but yeah, it was kind of the basis of the mountain. My friend also brought a little tripod for my phone. I posted in the community tab about my super low-tech solution for filming, which was propping up my phone in a little box that I got. And she saw that post and said, hey, this has been in my box to declutter, so here, have that. So that worked out for us, and she's super generous to share that with me, and it's going to be a big help. Honestly, though, the biggest gift that she brought was her time and her energy and efforts. She does not know how to quit. She works super hard and just keeps on going. She's great that way. I can tell from the pile that we're right in front of there that we had gotten to the sentimental portion of the items, and these were some of the items that I brought in from the patio. There were several photos, transcript, art projects from my niece, and those are going to be moved into a different room while I create some kind of place for them. Now, kids, don't do this at home. I nearly stabbed myself with this broken glass. Oh my gosh. So I was trying to remove a picture from this picture frame that had broken glass in it. Next time I will see, my friend is like, I don't want you to stab yourself, so I'm going to take this out to the trash right now. That's exactly what she did. Bless her. She certainly showed more sense than I did. Oh, I am very grateful that I didn't injure myself and, don't do what I did. Oh, okay, but we did get that taken care of. I kept the picture inside it. I'm probably going to scrapbook it because, again, it is from a sentimental time in my life, and I do want to hang on to those memories, even if I don't always hang on to the item. So getting rid of the frame and the broken glass and the mat felt like a good compromise, and I could just keep the photo itself. As you can see, the two of us together are making much more progress than either of us alone. It's really great if you can have someone help you, but of course, it does need to be someone who won't pressure you, who will just be there to support you and allow you to let go of what you need to let go of and keep what you need to keep. Now, as you can see, things are in a phase where they look worse before they look better. And it hit me that this has contributed to my clutter in the past. I've tried to declutter over the years numerous times, and I've gotten to the point where I decluttered and I would get to this point where the worse where it gets better point, and that would make me very anxious. Just all of that mess, that increase of the mess. And it makes me anxious. And when I get to this point, there's a part of me that is like, I gotta fix this. I gotta reduce this anxiety. So I need to move the boxes to the side and get a space free again out of the way. So I would move the boxes to the side in the past, and then I would build on top of it. And while that reduces that anxious feeling that I have in that moment, so I no longer have the anxiety of, okay, I've got a big pile of stuff in the middle of my room. It doesn't make the clutter go away. The clutter just moves to the sides of the room, and I'm right back where I started. And that's how Clutter Mountain came to be. And I realized this during the process of this declutter, because this was not a one day and done process. This was a process of 4 or 5 days work. And each day I would get to the end of the day and I would sit down and I would be like, I am feeling very anxious about this pile that is in the middle of the room. And the pile needed to be there so I could declutter the sides and then clear out that mess in the middle. But in the past, I've always stopped before I dealt with the mess in the middle. I got too anxious by that mess. And so I just moved it over to the sides again. But when I want to get through this, I have to accept that I am going to feel that anxiety. I have to accept that I need to keep going and keep moving. It's not fun. It's not fun to go to bed and be like, I've got a ton of stuff in the middle of my living room. And I know that sounds a little counterintuitive because I would go to bed all the time with the messes on the side. But while I was decluttering, I felt like, okay, I've got this mess on the side and I've got this mess on the middle. So I've got this mess everywhere. Like there was no respite, if that makes any sense. And so I came to realize that, yeah, that anxiety is going to be there and it's not comfortable. It's not enjoyable, but I need to just recognize that if I push through, if I keep going, if I accept that short term anxiety, the reward will be that I will finally be able to make the mountain go away. I will finally be able to manage the mountain. And this is the kind of work that I haven't done before, or I haven't done much of. I haven't worked through that anxiety to and pushed through to get to the end. I always give in to the anxiety, which says, no, 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 you have got to make room here. So the mess has got to go somewhere else. And that doesn't actually deal with the mess. So I would come out each morning into the living room and be like, okay, there is a big old alley of stuff right in the middle of my living room, and it's stressing me out, but I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep going until I see the end. And that's really what I had to do. And I think it was very helpful for me to do this exercise. And maybe each time I do it, I can realize that that anxiety is just going to come up. It's a natural part of the process. It's not fun. There's nothing that I'm going to be like, oh, yay, I'm at this part of the process. But it's just part of the way things go. And if I recognize that, I'll be better able to deal with it and avoid saying, okay, I give up. I'll just push things back to the side again and leave things the way that they are. Oh, look, I've got another box. Oh, dear. Boxes are just a thing, and I'm gonna have to get used to it because I have an entire laundry room full of boxes that I'm gonna have to get to eventually. But I'm gonna build up lots of decluttering, sorting muscles before I get to that point, or I will just sit in a corner and weep. But this particular box, though, had some really cool things in them. First of all, I found a gift card. I found a little gift card for a nearby soda shop, so that's nice. That's a great treat. I don't know if you can hear my little pupper. He is on my lap snoring as I record this video. So if you hear little snores, that's where they are coming from. Oh, my little Cupid. But anyway, the other thing I found more Unsolved Mysteries DVDs. So that was laying in the bottom of this box. It's a smaller box than usual, so there was really only a small level of papers and then just DVDs, and that made me so happy. And that's another important thing to remember is that sometimes you'll get a box packed of things that you just are like, that you have to slog through over and over. It's all this stuff I have to sort through. And then other times you'll find a box and it's really easy to go through. And when you go through it, you'll even find things that make you really happy, like that gift card and those DVDs. All right, so you're finally getting a glimpse of my little helper. He is over here helping us as we finally break down these boxes. There are a few more boxes that I still had to get through, and whoops, you can see that the tripod had a little issue and it kind of drooped. So anyway, the footage is a little bit lower than I intended, but but you'll be able to see us just going through and breaking down these boxes. We put them all into one big box at the bottom. And that definitely made a lot more room actually, which was kind of nice. Because, yeah, this definitely was a big alley of stuff in the middle of the room here. Now, this was the last part that my friend helped me with that day. I was just a little overwhelmed, so we wrapped things up. But she actually asked. Can you believe this? She asked if she could come over and help another day, which I'm like, I don't know why you would want to come over and declutter, but she actually really enjoys doing that. She helps lots of her friends organize stuff. I think I'm like the biggest cluttery person that she, the person with the most clutter that she helps. But that's just something that she really enjoys. And I think it's great that there are people like that out there because we absolutely need them. Oh, all right. So another day has gone by, and I am back at work, and I had a hard time figuring out how to do the camera angle here. I think I've gotten better at camera angles over the weeks, but they're just in this corner, it's a little bit of a challenge. So, anyway, we're just gonna go with it. And I'm basically just trying to finish things off. I want to uncover the entire love seat over here. Did you even know that did you suspect that there was a love seat under this mountain when you first saw it? There's a love seat and an ottoman. And I have to admit, ottomans are kind of dangerous for me because I have a hard time not putting a pile on something, on any flat surface. If there's a flat surface, my mind is like, that flat surface is screaming for me to put piles on top of it. And this is something that I know I'm going to continue to work with, or to be more accurate, I will continue to struggle with. But I'm happy to see them again. I'm really happy to see them again. So now, at this point, I'm really just going through and finding lots of little trash. I'm still coming across boxes that I need to get rid of, some packages. There was some stuff behind me that needs to go into the craft scrapbook room. And yeah, I've just got lots of little bitty things that need to be dealt with. I'm going to admit, I was also starting to run out of steam here. Oh, I did a lot of work the previous several days. So, yeah, I was feeling it by this day. I was like, okay, keep going, keep going. You can do it. You can do it. And I did. I kept going. It was not easy, but I kept going. And yes, I did have unsolved mysteries on repeat. Oh, there were so many little bits of trash. It's wild how you can get, how your surroundings can deteriorate, especially when you get caught up in depression, when you just feel like there's no hope. You're never gonna be able to get through that mountain anyway, so why not throw another water bottle over at it? Shout out to those of you who suffer from depression or live with or know someone who suffers from depression. You are not alone. I promise you, you are not alone. And you can do it. Hang in there. Hang in there. Whatever it takes to go another day, to declutter another item, whatever it takes, you can do it. I kept finding these patterned tissue papers, and I am going to go ahead and save these, put them in the scrapbook room. I want to do a project with them. It's not going to be an immediate project, but I do want to do a project with them. We are almost 50 minutes into this video. Wow, thank you so much if you were still here. Bless you. Bless you for having an interest and for watching and for all of your encouraging thoughts and comments. Please do let me know if how you feel about the occasional long video like this. I don't anticipate that there will be a huge number of super long videos. Most of them will be smaller projects, but this one I just felt like let's go ahead and see if we can bring you the whole process from start to finish so you can really see the results in that before and after. So let me know how you feel about that, and or if you would rather have me break it down into multiple videos so that you're not sitting for quite as long. But hopefully I can inspire you to declutter a little bit or a lot. Don't let me stop you from doing more if you want to, but any little bit is good. Any little bit will help. Here's something that I see kind of regularly is little avalanches. When you have lots of big piles in your house, whether it's a mountain size or a tower size, you'll get things that kind of avalanche and fall off, and that can be kind of daunting sometimes. So it's good to clear these spaces up. You just saw another cool find with that blue animal print sweater duster. I don't know what to call it, but it's really fun and it's very stretchy and comfortable. And we're heading into autumn times, not autumn temperatures yet, but that's going to be a cool find. I just need to wash it, of course. Okay, now we've got one more angle here, and this is not the best angle ever either. I really struggled with these corners, but I did the best I could, and I figured you don't necessarily need to see my face as long as you can kind of see what I'm doing. And you do see my little old man popping his head up in the left corner every now and then. My little cutie. Here I was basically at the point where I'm just throwing away trash. I'm going ahead and I'm going to start sweeping a bit more soon. Oh, there's my little poodle coming in at the top. I found so many blankets in the mountain as well. Lots of blankets, and there were some dog beds and lots of little goodies and lots of big goodies. And lots of things that aren't goodies at all, but it's just trash. Oh, there we see a little head pop. Ah. Anyway, I was determined to clear up this spot that's right in front of the couch. There's still a little corner of stuff that's kind of got some clutter, but like I said, I was really kind of winding down, and I have a lot of trash from this episode. I filled up my trash bin outside, took it out for trash day, and then I filled it up again with all of the trash that I had from the mountain. Now, here we go, another treasure. This is the Wise Dog Tarot. I knew that that tarot deck had been lost somewhere in the mountain, and I found it. I still didn't find the guidebook, so that's got to be around here somewhere, but I'll find it eventually. Now, I left that pause in because I wanted you to just see that it gets long and tiring. So it's okay to stop. It's okay to pause. I cut out a lot of pauses in these videos, so you're not seeing like the entire picture because it would be very boring to watch me just sitting in a chair or sitting on the couch. If you're inspired at all by my videos to start decluttering yourself, remember that it's okay to take breaks. It's totally fine to take breaks, come back, do 5 minutes here, do another few minutes there. You don't have to do it all in one session. And yes, absolutely 100% take all the breaks you need. We are at day 5. Yay! We're finally here. And now I'm just doing some finishing touches. I am wiping down the love seat, the ottoman. I am going to open up the curtains a little bit, let in some light. Did you even know there was a window back there? Oh my goodness. Being able to get to the curtains, get to the love seat was as much or more of a treasure as anything that I found in all of the decluttering. It was just so great and amazing to see. I'm gonna do a deep cleaning at some point, but I just wanted to do a really quick wipe down so you could see it a little bit better and I could clear some of that dust that's been there. And here we go. We have more water bottles. What do I need all these water bottles for? Okay, I mean besides that, what do I need them for? Oh, I'm just enjoying sitting down on that ottoman for the first time and I don't even know when. It's funny how you take such pleasure in small things like this, but this has not been uncovered for years. Years. But here it is. It's great. It's great to have it and to be able to enjoy it. I uncovered these mopping wipes in all of this mess, and I might as well use them. So that's what I'm gonna do. I've swept, and now it's time to mop. And my captain is gonna come in and make sure that everything is going well. I was really glad that he was interested again now that the floor was cleared up a bit. So he comes in to make sure that I'm doing what I need to be doing. There were a couple of spots that needed a bit more treatment there, so I'm going to get a spray for those and wipe them down some more. But take a look at that tape on the floor. I put that tape down on day 2 to mark where the edge of the mountain, and that was the edge of the mountain on day 2. It was probably 6 inches to another foot further, or closer, I guess, to us in the beginning. So let's take a look at the before and after. This is Clutter Mountain before. Boxes, fans, books, and here it is after. I I'm kind of stunned actually. I really can't believe that I was able to do so much. I had help, but I did a lot of that. And I'm just stepping back so you can see just how much floor space I've uncovered. Oh, yeah, it's looking at it is really kind of amazing. So, here's another angle. My little helper in the way here. Not in the way, he's never in the way, but just in view. And now let's take a look at what's left. Oh my goodness, so much trash. So many trash bags. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Seven, eight. This is for recycling. The bag that's on the far left, I think was an imposter. It was another trash bag that was there by accident. But yeah, I had several bags of recycling that got taken out as well. Here is what went to donation. I did remove 2 items from these boxes. It's a process, y'all. Um, but a lot still went out. And I did make some huge strides, so I'm not gonna beat myself up over 2 items. There's a pile of laundry that needs to be done, some paper that I need to go through, a couple of medical equipment that I need to return, one to my sister and one to the company that I got the oxygen tank from. Here is the pile of stuff that is going to other rooms, and I did move some boxes of sentimental items to another room as well. So that is Clutter Mountain. Thank you so much for watching. This week's space was large and intense, so I needed something smaller to kind of give me a little bit of a breather. I'm going to start with the DVDs and then we'll go from there. All right, we'll see you next time.